Hi guys, welcome back to my vlog. So today I'm gonna be filming a productive Monday in my life. I had a day off yesterday. I actually was very lazy. Except for the morning, I went on a fall hike. I'll insert some clips here. Yeah, it was very nice, this fall hike, very relaxing until there are a lot of groups of people walking past me, and that was stressful, especially because that's not really allowed anymore in Quebec. We're kind of phasing back to lockdown little by little. So basically the Quebec government has issued some new restrictions whereby from October 1st to October 28th, all bars and restaurants are closed except for takeout. All private gatherings are prohibited. Outdoor gatherings are prohibited except for funerals and other religious purposes. You're allowed to kind of like see people outside, but not like, it's not a gathering. Let's say, I don't know, going on a walk, but it's really not recommended, especially if like yesterday you're not social distancing or wearing a mask, because yesterday during my fall hike there were a lot of groups of families that definitely weren't a singular household. How do I know? There were just a lot of parents with their kids from like friends just hanging out, and that is definitely not allowed. So basically, if we don't follow these restrictions and cases continue to go up, then the government is gonna further force people to be at home and not see anyone. For example, right now, gyms are still open, beauty parlors are still open, retail stores are still open, but I'm guessing if cases continue to go up, all of these will close. So it's upsetting to see people that aren't following the restrictions, because we all want to get back to normal, but unfortunately if we don't do follow these restrictions, that is not going to be a possibility for a long time. So I just wanted to like talk about that, because today I'm going to be not only talking about my productivity but like mental health related things, as a lot of these restrictions and COVID really have an impact on my mental health and productivity in general. I already struggled with mental health issues beforehand, and I'm also going to be talking about general mental health issues to do with grad school and how it is for me to deal with grad school while having a mental illness, which is generalized anxiety, and sometimes I'll get depressed mood. So that's something I'm going to touch upon today. So even though I'm going to be, showing like myself like being productive, hopefully I still want to stay real with the people who watch my videos and possibly new people who watch my videos. So yeah, I just wanted to preface this vlog with all this information, and please comment, give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe. It really helps me grow. Hopefully, I want to continue doing this for a while, and it's very nice if I get some engagement for the videos that I create. So since the goal of this video is to show a productive Monday in my life, I'm gonna share with you my to-do list that I did this morning. You will have seen my to-do list in a vlog that I filmed last week about how I prepare for the week. So this is my to-do list. Sorry, that's my email notification. So I had a Zoom meeting this morning with my lab from 9:30 to 10:30. I can actually cross that out. For me, it's upside down when it's looking into the monitor, so I have to read. Okay, so I have readings for a class. I have some writing exercises because it's a class to like better your academic writing. And then I have an assignment for that class. Then what do I have? I have to email a bunch of people about logistics for the experiment that I'm in the process of setting up. So I have a list of all these people on my meeting notes with my notes for my meeting with my supervisor. And if I have time, I want to work on my methodology. Then I have a cleaning section, so I'd like to take some recycling down and to fold all the clean laundry that we cleaned over the weekend. And then I'd like to go on a run. There's probably going to be other things that are going to be added to this throughout the day, so this is not like a final to-do list. And also, well, the things for my class I have to do today because that's all due tomorrow, but the rest is not technically due today. Like, I don't have a deadline for cleaning, but it'd be nice. And then running, I'm for sure gonna make some time for that. If it rains, because it looks kind of gloomy, I'll figure something out. Although if it doesn't rain too hard, I should still go on a run. So that's that. So now I'm going to be working on my class. I just wanted to kind of talk, since I prefaced the vlog with I wanted to talk about mental health and such. I wrote down some notes. So I, as I said, suffer from generalized anxiety, and basically, if you don't know what generalized anxiety is when you have a lot of anxious moods and stress, but it's not just like, you know, it's normal to be stressed when you have deadlines and you have a lot of responsibilities, but the thing was, like, generalized anxiety is like you're anxious to the point where it can impair your functioning sometimes. So out of nowhere, my body might start to feel anxious. I'll have like physical symptoms of stress and anxiety, like my shoulders and neck area will become very tight. I will feel my heart beating. I will feel overwhelmed, and sometimes it's triggered by something, but sometimes it comes upon you for no reason. It's just your body goes into fight or flight mode. Sorry, I had to drink some water because I feel like when I talk on these vlogs, I get dehydrated really fast. You know, some stimulants like this lovely coffee that I love can also be a trigger for my anxiety. And then also, when you have anxiety, every little thing stresses you out. You're like, for someone with anxiety, like your main baseline is stress, and it's just, it can have other effects on your life. Like, I suffer with insomnia. It comes in waves. I will have anxiety attacks, so I completely lose it and start crying, and like I can't do anything. I just need to lie down. It can impair focus. Sorry, I had to think about that word. Yeah, there's a lot of things. So I take medication for my anxiety, and I see a therapist to discuss it, and so that helps. And then other ways I cope with it is by going on runs, exercising, self-care. So I just wanted to explain, and I'm not just gonna talk about my mental illness, just in general, like mental health in grad school. It's very different from, like, grad school is very different from undergrad. And actually I made a video kind of talking about, I think it was like 5 things I learned about grad school. I did 2 videos about grad school, and I talked about mental health. So one big thing about grad school, when you're doing a thesis master's, so it's not course based, like although you have to take some courses, most of your time is spent doing research. So for example, for me, I'm going to be doing some physical experiments, and I have to write about them afterwards. Like, I have to write my methodology about how these experiments are set up. So I'm doing that right now, on like, it's like a proposal of a methodology, like what I'm gonna do, but then you go back and you like change that according to, like, you know, if things have changed in the like when you were doing your experiments, because things never go according to plan, which is a big stressor. And then you have to write a manuscript at the end that includes your methodology, that includes your results section, your discussion section, and also your literature review, which you usually do before you do experiments. I'm actually rewriting my entire literature review because my research question and project have not completely changed. They're still about vermicompost, which is the breakdown of organic waste by earthworms. However, my specific question has changed due to COVID. We had to make some adjustments. And so I wrote a literature review back in the fall last year, but now I'm like rewriting an entirely different one. So there's just a lot of, especially with COVID, there's a lot of uncertainty. And the big thing with a master's is you don't, or at least at McGill and a thesis master's, you don't really have small deadlines. You kind of set them as you go. Basically, they give you 2 to 2.5 years, max 3 years to finish your master's. Ideally, you want to finish within 2 to 2.5 years, which is my goal. I might be more in the 2.5 years now because of COVID, but I'm really trying to graduate within 2 years. So your first year is like allotted really to your courses and your seminars, and the second year is really you're focusing on your research. So yeah, your deadline is just like, okay, I'd like to graduate by April 2021 or August 2021, and then you kind of cut your time accordingly. But it's really up to you to figure out your time. So like, I have a methodology to write, but that's a big goal. Like, how do I break it down? So first I'm gonna do the first draft within this month, and then I'm gonna do the experiments from this time to that time, and then I'm going to do my methodology revised version. So you really have to like figure out blocks of time for when you're going to do these big milestone. You have to like figure out when your milestone are going to be in order to graduate. So kind of like a way to do it is to like work backwards and see like, okay, I graduate this time, what is it that I have to do to get to this point? So it's a lot of your own time management. It's not like an undergrad class where you have set exams, set quizzes, set readings, set assignments. And so that's very stressful, and it's easy to procrastinate, and like you set your own deadline, and you don't meet it, so you're like, oh, I'll move it, which is kind of happening with my methodology. So it's good to have your supervisor to keep you accountable, but at the same time, they're not going to hold your hand through the whole process. So it's very easy to procrastinate. It's very easy to not see progress. It's very easy to, you know, get overwhelmed and kind of depressed, especially during COVID, because at least when we could go to school, for my lab, we had a space where all my lab mates would work. Like we each had our desk, and it was very motivating to have people around. And like, let's say I had like a problem with a topic or some kind of experimental design or protocol, I could go to the postdoc or some of the PhD students in my lab, and they're more knowledgeable and they have more experience, so they can help you. But now that's really much harder to do, so that's an added stress, and also it's like less motivating when you're not surrounded by your peers. And also another thing is, for me, when I was at school, I would go into school mode. Like, it was much easier for me to go into the lab office or the library or other study spaces, and my mind is like would associate it with like studying and getting shit done. But now I've had to like completely change my routine and figure out like at home how are the best ways for me to study and get shit done. And unfortunately, I'm still not fully like at a place where I would like to be with my routine and my work ethic at home. It's much easier for me, I find, to get distracted. Even, let's say this is procrastination, what I'm doing by talking to you guys, I should be doing my work. But you know, I love filming these videos. So yeah, so that's a big difference between undergrad and grad school, and it's definitely a challenge. But now I really do need to go do my work, so I'll probably talk about other things related to mental health later on today. But for now, insert some B-roll of me hopefully being productive. Hello, it's a couple of hours later, so I'm actually working on an assignment. I just have to summarize a scientific article, and I'm very distracted by my phone. And just in general, I don't know what's up with me. I think I need to go outside and go on a run soon, but I'm really trying to finish my assignments. So as you saw earlier, I made lunch. For lunch, I made a pumpkin soup. Well, actually, oh my god, there's so many flies in this apartment. It's because we have to take the garbage out. We actually do it like almost every day, but still, they find ways. So sorry, I'm always so distracted in these vlogs. But yeah, I made butternut squash soup, and it wasn't the best I've ever made, but you know, it was still good and healthy. And some tortellini, and then I was still hungry because there were barely any tortellinis, and the squash soup was not as filling as usual because it was literally just squash. I didn't add onions or anything else, which I think would have made it more filling. So I made tortellini, and there weren't that many tortellini between my boyfriend and I, so I made a sandwich. I eat a lot. I also have been going on a lot of walks, and I go on a run almost every day. And I'm pretty tall and have a really fast metabolism. I don't know why I feel the need to justify how much I eat, but I always feel like I have, because I feel like in vlogs people never eat that much, like the women I watch, and I'm like, I feel kind of like bad, but I shouldn't, because food shame is not acceptable. So yeah, and then I made myself a pumpkin spice latte at home. So I don't know if you saw, basically I used canned pumpkin filling, like 2 tablespoons of that, because I made it for both my boyfriend and I, some silk almond hazelnut creamer, a teaspoon of cinnamon, and some, actually I still have it here, and some nutmeg and sugar. Mixed it in with some espresso coffee, and it was really good. It was actually much better than Starbucks. Like, each year I get really excited about the pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks, but then when I have it, it's never as good as I imagine it because it's way too sweet. And the other day I got the largest quantity, like I think that's venti. I'm sorry, I don't really go to Starbucks that much because it's kind of expensive, and I'd rather do coffee at home, but I was really excited, and my boyfriend had me to get the venti or grande, I don't remember, the biggest like size you can get, and it was way too much. What I ended up doing is I kept some for the next day, like I put it in the fridge and I used it as creamer the next day, but it was way too sweet. Whereas the one I made was still sweet, but it wasn't too sweet, and it was like, it just felt more natural flavors. Like you could really feel the nutmeg and the cinnamon, and the creamer in my opinion was a bit too sweet, so I think next time I'll just use oat milk rather than creamer. And yeah, and now I'm doing my assignment. I need to get this done and submit it, and then I can take a break finally, because I'm taking breaks but not really. I'm just checking my phone instead of just hankering down getting this done. It's not even that hard. And then I'm actually gonna add stuff to my list. I need to send out an email for the Grad Students Society. I'm actually doing this right now. So MCGSS, send out email to all grad students. I'm their publicist, or as they like to call the position, the public relations officer, PRO. It's not too much work, but it is definitely some work, because I'm in charge of their Instagram, their Facebook, sending out emails and such. So yeah, I have to do that. And I think to my cleaning, dishes is gonna have to be added, because we have a small dishwasher, you can see it there, but you can't really clean pots and pans in it because they're too big for it. So this has actually like changed our life. It does take up a lot of space, but as you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, but in the sink is like full of dishes because we haven't run a dishwasher today. So we're gonna have to do that and wash the pots and pans that can't be washed in the dishwasher. So also, like, I'm really talking fast because like I think I'm like pretty anxious and nervous today, and I just need to like take a deep breath and just, things are gonna be okay. I am also very stressed by the COVID situation in Montreal. It's really not looking good. Like, we're reaching like 1,000 cases a day now, and more people are being hospitalized, so that's really concerning. But you know, gotta focus on what I can control, which is to do my work. So talk to you later. Okay, so I'm gonna go on a run finally because my brain is so muddled. This assignment took forever to do. It's definitely a Monday. I have a lot of emails to send out after. I also had some writing exercises to do for my academic writing class. So I was doing that as well. So I'm gonna go on a run. Hopefully that'll clear my mind, get my blood pumping so I can, when I come back, and can reread what I wrote. Maybe modify a couple things and then send it out so it's done and over with. Yeah, so I'm gonna go on my run. This is random, but I really hate this strip of hair. So I don't know if I told you, probably, I messed around with my hair back in March and tried to bleach it, and this is the remnants of this as my pixie cut is growing out. Also, my hair's at a really awkward length right now. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it trimmed anytime soon. I mean, I could go, but I'd rather not, given the fact that cases are increasing in Montreal. So I'm gonna have to live with weird hair for a bit. And yeah, let's go on this run. Hi, it's a bit later. I've been on my run and I feel so much better. I'm probably gonna go on a walk with my boyfriend, even though I just ran, because he needs to get out and it'll be a good way to cool down, although I am doing stretches. And then I'm gonna look over my assignment and then submit it, and then I have a bunch of emails to write and some readings, so I'm gonna do that. Hi guys, it's a while later. I'm editing the video that you just watched. I'm wearing a shirt with my cats. That's irrelevant, but I just wanted to share. So I never filmed an outro to that video. I decided I should hop on and say I'm glad you watched. It was supposed to be a productive day in my life. However, it wasn't as productive as I planned that day because I was feeling extremely anxious, but you know what? That's just life. I still, you know, got a workout in that day and did my priorities. So, you know, that's all you can hope for, really. So I hope you liked this vlog. You can subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!